Humiliated by their defeat on the planet Walcott, the warriors of Clan Smoke Jaguar have returned to the Inner Sphere to avenge themselves against the armies of the Draconis Combine. Bolstered by Clan Novacat, the invaders have massed an invasion fleet of new Omnimechs, battle-armored elementals, and aerospace fighters to destroy the dragon. Luthien Campaign Sourcebook. Hello everyone. We're going to do something a little different today. With all the talk of the new BattleTech box set floating around the internet these days, I got to thinking. I have myself a little digital soapbox on which I can stand, and what good is standing on one if you don't have something interesting to say? So today, I want to do more than just shake my fist at the clouds and yell, "Why can't I have this?" We're going to tackle the creation of a hypothetical BattleTech expansion box that would supplement the Clan Invasion box and take the next step forward down the timeline. My proposal is that CGL look backward to some of the best content from the 1990s as inspiration for future products. In a series of boxed expansions, players would have the opportunity to experience elements that made these campaign books so memorable and valuable to longtime fans of the game. For the old-timers, seeing some of the classic art mixed in with some amazing modern takes on our big stompy mech friends would be a powerful draw. As a demonstration, I chose one of my favorite campaign books, Luthien, and hammered out what I would hope to see if this classic book was rendered into a modern-day boxed expansion. It's my hope that perhaps if this channel's community can get behind it, someone in the know might hear us. Before we dive into my plan, I want to point out that if you aren't already an owner of the Luthien campaign book that was released in 1993, do yourself a favor and pick it up, even in its digital form. Though it fits with the general format of other campaign books, it's a great example of how an experience is more than the sum of its parts. The writing by Thomas S. Gressman is solid, and the cover art by Les Dorscheid is great and includes one of the best representations of the Scorpion you're going to find in classic BattleTech. The black and white line art inside from various artists is both gritty and accurately conveys the intensity of this all-or-nothing struggle for the Combine capital world. These mechs aren't meeting out in the middle of an open field and politely taking turns shooting at each other. The art shows the brutal street-by-street, building-by-building slug match between the clans and Inner Sphere forces. Just look at this Phoenix Hawk. Come on, you're fine. Just walk it off. Go grab a sip off the hose and get back out there. Not too much though, you don't want to cramp up. Back on track here. The Luthien book included historical background on the clan invasion and specifically the events following the election of the new Ilkhan after the Combine victory over the Smoke Jaguars on Walcott in October of 3050. In just 8 pages, players were brought up to speed on the machinations of the major players leading up to the arrival of the Smoke Jaguars and Novacats in the Luthien system. The next section of the book highlighted the major players in the conflict. It covered big names like Theodore Corrida, Morgan Kell, and Severin LaRue, and could easily be updated along the standard of recent CGL-released sourcebooks. Though hopefully their updated portraits won't make them look like they're all dying from radiation poisoning or terminal cancer. Next up, the forced withdrawal rule was introduced along with the specific units involved in the Luthien campaign. In our hypothetical new version, I'd expect to see forced composition rules here along with the suggested mechs and variants that fit with the time period and documented use in the campaign. The 18 included scenarios consisted of mostly battle mech and elemental combat, but also had elements of infantry and Mechwarrior RPG content. Most of them would require revamping to fit with the updated understanding of rules and balance, but the core of what is there doesn't need to be changed much. I do not fault Theodore San for any of his decisions, but I should request extra hazardous duty pay for that last assignment. Even at this late date, I am not certain whether the coordinator will order me to perform seppuku for defying his wishes during the fighting in the Kato-Guchi Valley. I can still hear his curses ringing in my ears. As I pen these words, I can remember the keys of my Phoenix Hawk's comm console beneath my fingers. Would I have had the courage to enter and send the destruct code? Perhaps it is better that I will never know. Some dark recesses of a man's soul should never know the light of knowledge. Excerpt from the personal journal of Shosa Shin Yodama. Luthien, Scenario 14, Cat and Dragon, page 68. The last section of the original sourcebook was a technical readout which included the new clan mech spotted on Luthien during the campaign. This included the Ebon Jaguar, the Hankyu, and Nairobi Nin. And like that, MechFrog's love affair with the Ebon Jaguar began. Now that we have the basics for what's already there, I want to dive into a hypothetical Luthien box set revamp. The contents of the box would include the following: a revamped Luthien campaign book with a mixture of new and original art. This would include an expanded TRO section to include the 3 clan mechs from the original, as well as 3 of the Combine battle mechs included in plastic form. 10 plastic battle mechs, 5 clan, 5 in inner sphere, 2 double-sided paper maps, one side of each will match up to create a large city map, a 30-page record sheet book, 3 variants for each mech, 10 double-sided Mechwarrior pilot cards, 10 Alpha Strike cards for the Alpha Strike fans out there, a Battle of Luthien novella, hopefully written by someone capable, heavy stock reference sheet, 2 6-sided die, and 10 heavy cardstock buildings to encourage going 3D with your tabletop battles. The 10 battle mechs I chose for the box are the following, starting with the clan side, the 3 original Luthien mechs, including the Ebon Jaguar, though we're going to include the C configuration, so it'll be something new, the Hankyu C configuration, and the Nairobi Nin in its A configuration. Adding to them, I want to balance it a bit with a couple of new configurations not yet seen in CGL plastic. The first was the Warhawk in the I configuration, and the next being the Griffin 2C in a variant 2. To encourage buyers, each of those sculpts that have been seen in a release before would be in either new poses or new configurations. For the Combine side of the box, we're going to start with the Hatamoto Chi 26T. It features a pair of particle projection cannons split between the arms and a pair of SRM-6s set into the side torsos. While not a powerhouse design, it would very much represents what the Combine had to work with going into the clan invasion. Remember, you go to war with the army you have, not the army you want. Next up is the Mauler 1Y variant, which debuted in 3048. It sported 2 large lasers, 2 LRM-15s, and 4 AC-2 autocannons with its 350 movement profile. It's slow, but able to pack a decent punch at all ranges. The Mauler is everyone's problem. On a more mobile note, the Panther 10K in a leaping jump jet pose would be a great way to add some flavor to the box. The 10K debuted just a year before the Luthien fight, and it benefited from that upgrade to the ERPPC, which eliminates the minimum range for firing. It also carries the SRM-4 with an Artemis 4 fire control system upgrade. Unfortunately, it lacks the double heat sinks that it would really need to perform well with that ERPPC and expected jump jet use. Quite unfortunate. Next up in the deck is the Katana 5003-02, which was first produced in 3035. Similar to the Mauler, but with better mobility, the Katana carried 2 large lasers, 2 SRM-6s, and an LB-10X autocannon, along with 2 small lasers. It's an 85-ton brick house and a fun addition to any frontline unit. The last Combine unit isn't a surprise, as the Dragon is synonymous with any Draconis Combine operation. This time the variant will be the 2Y Yoriyoshi, which carried 1 of each laser, large, medium, and small, along with an SRM-4 and a flamer. With the 5.8 movement profile to keep up with clan heavy mechs, the 2Y Yoriyoshi could do more damage than one normally expects from our favorite Combine bowling ball. Though the 2 sides are not balanced for weight or battle value, they are a good representation of the types of mechs encountered on Luthien in 3052. As an expansion and not a standalone game, the Luthien box is freed from that sort of expectation. As time passes and more expansions are released, players' mech supplies will add the flavor of each faction into a melting pot of lasers, Gauss rifles, and autocannon ammunition. For the Battle of Luthien novella, I'd like to see the author tackle the events from the point of view of a Combine civilian pressed into service in defense of the planet. It's not often that we get an infantryman's perspective on these massive war machines crashing into one another in a knockdown, drag-out fight. Overall, I think that a box set like this that respectfully takes advantage of existing lore content that allows new players to access it, and older players to enjoy what made them fall in love with the setting in the first place, will do really well. I've repeatedly shared my love for these old campaign books, and as the years pass, more and more people will respond with, "Oh, that exists? Oh, that'd be cool, they should re-release that book." Yeah, they definitely should. One of BattleTech's biggest advantages in the gaming market is that it has 40 plus years of high quality lore and fluff that backs up the solid gameplay. It should be a given to start bringing some of these gems from the past forward for new players. I'm curious what you think about the idea. Are there elements from this proposed box which you think should be tweaked? Is it missing something that you think would make it a success? Please let me know and we can keep the discussion going. I'm genuinely curious to know what people would want from future BattleTech boxes. Maybe if we're lucky, someone at CGL can take notice. Before we go, big thank you to Eldonius Rex for creating that awesome Ebon Jaguar art that graced the box for my expansion idea. I love it so much that I bought the print and it's on the wall of my hobby cave right now. We can't have enough Ebon Jaguar art. It's a beautiful machine. If you're a Discord user and would like to join the fun there, we've got a lively community server set up where we can talk big stompy mechs, share painted works, and discuss past and future content. Come hang out with us. I've included a link for the server in the pinned comment below. If you enjoyed this kind of content, even this radical turn into developer roleplay, don't be shy about hitting that like and subscribe button. It costs you nothing and lets YouTube know that the video is worth sharing with others. Going the extra step of becoming a channel member tosses a few C-bills in my direction and helps make sure this project can continue a little longer. With that, I'll say I hope you have a great week. Please go out and make the world a slightly better place today and tomorrow.